Good morning and welcome. Thank you for joining us virtually for our weekly press briefing. My name is Kelly Chandler. I'm the Public Health Division Manager for Itasca County. Itasca County has been hosting press briefings to highlight themes emerging in our community related to COVID-19 or frequently asked questions about COVID-19 posed by our community members. We have been providing twice weekly written updates for the media through the month of June. Today, we will focus on quality care for children and youth programming during the COVID-19 pandemic. Routine, structure, and safety are important every day for youth development, and even more so in times of uncertainty. Quality care and programming promotes physical health and mental well-being and are linked to a child's learning and their ability to succeed at school, home, and with their peers. Quality programming is linked to less high-risk behaviors and offers opportunities for socialization and to receive role modeling from trusted, caring adults, all of which are essential for healthy youth growth and development. We will learn about other programs and their importance for youth from our speakers, who are Angela Elke, School Social Worker, Grand Rapids High School; Jan Randall, Executive Director, Invest Early Project; Melanie DeBay, Director, Itasca Area Community Education; Jan Drodowski, Extension Educator, 4-H Youth Development, Itasca County; Jean McDonnell, Board Chair, Itasca Family YMCA and Grand Rapids Area Library, also President and CEO of Grand Itasca Clinic and Hospital. We are also joined by our local and regional media. After our speakers, please submit questions via chat, and we would like you to preface your question with your name and the media organization that you represent, and our panel will respond to the questions that pertain to their organization. Before we move into our speakers, I will provide an update on COVID-19 numbers in Itasca County. We have 67 laboratory confirmed positive COVID-19 cases in our county. Some of the positives have been repeat tests. We have 58 persons infected thus far. We have been reporting the positive cases as soon as we learn of them to stay ahead of the numbers for you as a community, with the goal of providing as much updated information as possible. Infections are linked to multiple sources, some cases being of unknown source or what we call community spread. We have 12 deaths in Itasca County from COVID-19. We continue to work with the community and our partners to practice safety measures, encouraging masking, washing hands with soap and water, covering our coughs and sneezes, and staying home when sick, and practicing social distancing to slow the spread of COVID-19. Public health staff continue to respond to questions via the Itasca County COVID-19 information line, and that number is 218-327-6784. Staff are responding to the messages Monday through Friday between the hours of 8 and 4:30. At this time, I would like to introduce Angela Elke, School Social Worker from Grand Rapids High School.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks, Kelly. I was asked today to come on and speak about a few things with the effects of kids in our community with COVID-19 and some hopefully helpful resources for everybody. Some things to look for in kids would be maybe lack of interest in things that they used to enjoy, eating habits changing, and that can be eating too much or too little. And the same goes for sleeping habits, looking for the change in those. And also just a heightened anxiety. And sometimes that may come out in different ways for kids with the inability to communicate. Some pointers to look for parents and guardians and anyone that really works with kids is talk to them, be open to talking to them. More importantly, I'd say listen to them and things that they're wanting or needing. I would strongly encourage you to get outside, enjoy some sunshine, and maybe try something new to kind of spark that interest. And now that we're heading into summer, there's a little bit more of that free time. And then two big resources that I wanted to point out that people have access to on our ISD318.org website. We actually have a tab at the top that says COVID-19 resources. So there's a lot of different places you can look for that. And then also it'll lead you to our first call, 211, which has a variety of resources for our community. And then stableembrace.com that has providers in our area at the state level and national level and local level and then also some activities for adults and kids to use. And I think the biggest thing that I wanted to point out lastly here is that it's okay to ask for help, and we have the resources for people.
Thank you, Angela. We will now introduce Jan Randall, Executive Director, Invest Early Project.
Hi, my name is Jan Randall, and I'm the Director of Invest Early. We provide early care and education for children from 5 weeks through kindergarten entrance in our programs that are all the way across Itasca County. Summer is a great time to play, and I think if anything, that's what we need to remember to do with kids right now. And so I just wanted to share with you 2 ideas to do that are simple. Water, as we know, the power of water. And if you're by a lake or a pool, that's great, but it's as easy as a tub of water outside with kids. And one day you add cups and spoons and bowls, and they're filling and emptying and getting wet. And maybe the next day you add things like dirt and sticks and rocks that you've collected, and you're making mud pies, and it turns into a science experiment as you watch those pies dry in the sun. And the following day you add some soap, and they're bringing out their toys to wash and clean. And there's so much that they're getting out of it, and so much that you are getting out of it by being and engaging with them in play. The other activity that we just love is our making forts. And I think we all remember just putting a blanket over our kitchen table and crawling underneath it. Kids still love to do things like that. And that's great for the days that we've just had where it was rainy, or try and take it outside and clip it with clothespins to a piece of deck furniture, or a stick or a tree or a branch. I think just what's important for early childhood kids is that they pick up a lot on what they hear and what they see, and it's our job to calm them and let them know that they're safe, and we're keeping them as healthy and safe as possible. Thanks.
Thank you, Jan. And we will introduce Melanie Dubé, Director, Itasca Area Community Education.
Good morning. I'm Melanie with Itasca Area Community Education. We're working hard to bring our community some safe, quality programming over the summer months following state and federal guidelines. Bringing kids and families back together in learning environments with small participation numbers while practicing safe social distancing, because safety is our #1 priority this summer, but also trying to bring community back together in small settings. Community Ed is starting by offering some in-person classes in some of our outside spaces. We have yoga in the Coleraine Park, mountain biking in Cohasset, boys high school soccer camp in Grand Rapids, birdhouse making in Keewatin, Tai Chi in Calumet, learn to golf in Grand Rapids, and family read in the park in Coleraine. So a few activities bringing small groups back together. We're also offering many virtual opportunities this summer. Summer Learning Academy is our academic programming for students K-8 who need some academic assistance in the summer months. So students have been invited to participate in this program this summer. It will be a distance learning program across the counties, and a few in-person sessions in Keewatin and Deer River. We also are offering some online drawing classes, a family community scavenger hunt, so get out and get active with your family. Take and make art kits in partnership with McCrosty Art Center, some take and make fairy gardens in partnership with Briar Greenhouse, one-on-one tutoring with licensed teachers, if this is offered virtually, some Lego building instruction virtually, rock painting, spreading the joy across the community, encouraging our community, our families to paint together, and then spread the rocks across some of our trails in the community. We also, on our getlearning.org website, we have many virtual classes taught by local instructors, such as dog tracking, playing the guitar, story time, dance lessons, planting, and many more lessons. So I encourage you to visit our getlearning.org website for up-to-date information on all of our programs. We do partner with other organizations across Itasca County, and so I have been shared other programs that are offering youth programming this summer. The Boys and Girls Club of Deer River and the Boys and Girls Club of Grand Rapids and Greenway opened their doors this week in both Deer River and in Coleraine. So there is programming for youth at both of those sites. The Itasca Area YMCA has opened for childcare along with their school-age care day camps. McCrosty Art Center is offering individual art lessons by appointment by Colleen McCrosty. Our area libraries are digging into reading this summer, offering in-person and pickup activities. I encourage you to contact your local libraries across the Itasca area for their schedules and activities that are going on. They have virtual and some in-person activities. The Grand Rapids Area Library is offering a story walk along the river. They have book checkout, and they're also doing a summer Reado, which is a bingo card, and everyone can participate. Cards can be picked up at the local library, and everyone who finishes a bingo can earn a free book. Itasca Orchestra and Strings is providing summer online lessons, and will start in-person lessons in August. And our Grand Rapids Players are offering a do-it-yourself summer theater camp. They have downloadable scripts and tips, so you can visit grplayers.com for access information. Also, all of our Itasca area schools are providing free breakfast and lunch pickups for children 18 and younger. So contact your local school district for more information about pickup times or drop-off times. For more information about Itasca Area Community Education Summer Programs, you can follow us on Facebook or visit our website at getlearning.org. Thank you.
Thank you, Melanie. I'd now like to introduce Jan Drodowski, Extension Educator, 4-H Youth Development in Itasca County.
Good morning. Thanks for including me in this conversation this morning, and I can give you an update about how 4-H is responding to the COVID crisis. And so we have, the phrase we use internally is we've pivoted, and so we've taken many of our learning experiences and transitioned to an online environment for young people. We've engaged families and young people through Facebook and Instagram in some challenges, and just to let them know that we are staying connected and that we care about them. We've also, some of our staff have engaged young people in just old-fashioned letter writing as a way to stay connected for those families that may not have access to internet, and so or develop some pen pals. We've also created a virtual library for young people where we have community members that are reading books out loud, and young people can access those to continue to read and stay connected with mentors that they may have been working with during the school year. As we look to the summer, we are creating all kinds of innovative online learning experiences. We are scaffolding that learning so that one session builds on the next and challenging young people to continue to develop their skills. We have statewide programming and then some local and regional programming as well. So some examples of statewide program would be our Water Watchers program, performing arts or pollinators, learn all kinds of things about bees and other pollinators in our world. Locally, we'll have some sessions that kids can engage in terms of photography or some natural resources, studying phenology. We have cooking classes and arts and crafts. And we're also building in showcase events for young people so that if they participate in those learning opportunities, they'll have a chance to showcase those and connect with others who have similar interests. To access these learning opportunities, you can go to our website. If you search extension.umn.edu. It'll bring you to like our front page. And then from there, you'll see a page called 4-H at Home. And those are all the large-scale statewide opportunities. But you can also look for 4-H in your community, and that'll bring you to the Itasca County webpage. And so you can see what's being offered locally for young people. So thank you.
Thank you, Jan. And we'll now introduce Jean McDonald, Board Chair of the Itasca Family YMCA and Grand Rapids Area Library, and also the President and CEO of Grand Itasca Clinic and Hospital.
Thanks, Kelly. Good morning, everyone, and thanks for having me on. As a board member of the Itasca County Family Y and the Grand Rapids Area Library, I'd really like to thank our members and staff for their patience through the pandemic. I know it's been hard to have these organizations closed, and both of them are really excited to offer some programming, even if it's limited for kids, and are looking forward to the summer. And I'll start with just a few additional comments from what Melanie said related to the Y. You know, having to close the doors of the Y has really brought to light the important role that the YMCA plays in the community, and we're so excited to open the doors back up with many practices in place to keep everyone safe. There are several activities for kids this summer. Camp Wanago is for ages 6 to 12, and there is currently a wait list. And the programming will look a little different with without any field trips, but it will be a great program for kids. As Melanie said, the licensed childcare is available for infants up to preschool. And the Y will open on June 15th for a phase 1 reopening. That'll be available for members age 14 and older. There'll be access to the facility, including the wellness center, strength room, the track, and limited time in the gym for individual play. The Y is also working on some other programs. They're still in development as we try to figure out exactly how to accomplish that with social distancing and sanitizing procedures, and those will include family swim, family gym time, and a children's first curbside family picnic later in the summer in August. So stay tuned for some specifics on the dates for those programs. And then switching gears to the library, the staff have continued to find ways to deliver learning content to kids through this pandemic, and the summer reading program will have 3 parts to it this year. The first is a series of stay-at-home superhero challenges. You might have already seen these out there on the Facebook page. This week is a tower time challenge, which encourages kids to use spaghetti noodles and marshmallows to make a tower. And these challenges are offered 3 times a week through June. And you can, again, find those out on the library's Facebook page. They're pretty neat, and I encourage you to check them out. Melanie mentioned the summer reading book log, and that's been replaced with a new program that encompasses people of all ages, which is the summer Reado cards. And lastly, as Melanie already mentioned, there will be an installation of a permanent story walk along the river, and that's going to be a very cool project that will hopefully be installed very soon for the summer months. So we encourage everybody in the community to use the online catalog and put books on hold if you need to. You can drive up and staff will pass books out the window. And if you just need some good books for your kids, you can call the Children's Library at 218-327-8823. And the library staff will be happy to put together a bundle of books for your children. So I'm really proud to represent these 2 organizations that continue to serve our community through the pandemic, and look forward to the summer. Thank you.
Thank you. And we will now move on to the question and answer portion of our press briefing. We again ask the media to submit questions via chat and introduce yourself and the organization you represent. Kathy from KOZY, what are the risks for children of COVID-19? We don't have any medical providers on today. Jean, is that something you would like to take on, or another one of our panelists?
Hi, Kelly. Yeah, Dr. Suler wasn't able to join us today, but you know, for kids, I think the risks are similar to everyone else, and there's a lot of information out there about the risks for kids. There's some information that says kids are more likely to be asymptomatic carriers, but as Kelly's mentioned, we have had a couple of positive children in our county, and both of those were symptomatic. So, you know, I think the risk, it would be safe to say the risk is the same for people of all ages. And we encourage everybody to abide by the masking guidelines and hand washing, as Kelly mentioned at the start of this press briefing.
Yes, and I would reiterate what Jean said. Our youngest case in Itasca County is 6, and we do have some teenagers, and we have 20 to 29-year-olds as one of our highest groups. And so there are risks at all ages, and yes, they can show symptoms as well. And so abiding by the same procedures as we recommend for adults, and hearing from our panelists, our groups in the community are taking the risk of this virus seriously and implementing safety practices for our youth, while also recognizing the importance of programming for youth and their families. Beth from ICTV, of our positives recorded in Itasca, how many are under 20? I believe there are 4 that are under 20, and I will verify that. Chantel is with Lakeland News. For the YMCA camp that was mentioned, how are the children social distancing effectively? I will either let Jean or Melanie respond to that.
Hi, Kelly. I can take that one, and Melanie can chime in if she wants to. I believe the numbers will be smaller to allow for social distancing, and of course, being outdoors makes that a little bit easier as well.
Yes, this is Melanie, and the YMCA said they are keeping pods of 9 with 1 instructor, so they have small group sizes under 10, and social distancing and washing hands and wearing masks.
Thank you. And to respond again to the question of under 20, we have 4 that are under 20, 5 if you include anyone at the age of 20 in Itasca. Other questions? Okay, thank you for joining us today, and everyone, please stay well. Oh, I'm going to jump back. We had one more question from Chantel at Lakeland. Are they taking temperatures at the YMCA? Does Melanie or Jean have that information?
Yes, they are. As the students enter the program, they're taking their temperatures and asking health screening questions.
Thank you. Other questions? Beth from ICTV, of the 58 positives, how many are beyond the quarantine? Great question. That is a frequently asked question. So the Minnesota Department of Health considers someone to no longer be in need of isolation if they are 10 days out from either their positive test or the start of symptoms. So they need to be 10 days beyond that date. They also need to no longer have a temperature with taking medication or without taking medication for that temperature, and they need to have an improvement in symptoms. We locally in public health are not in contact with the positive cases. The case contacts are conducted by the Minnesota Department of Health. But with that being said, we have approximately 40 of these persons who are no longer in need of isolation. Again, that's not an exact number, not knowing exactly how many people, without being able to interview them ourselves that have had the improvement in the symptoms. And then we have had the 12 that are deceased. Other questions? Okay, with that, thank you for joining us today, and thank you to our panelists, and everyone stay well.
At Grand Rapids State Bank, we've been a trusted financial advisor to our customers since 1914. We're local, community bankers who understand what it takes to manage a business through thick and thin. Grand Rapids State Bank, your community bank, serving people throughout the Northland.